Yahoo! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The stream will start now. Okay, let's see. What can we do? We've got enough time. Your troops are in awe of you. Maintaining discipline comes easy. Bakemono. Yay. There's a large party of Scutari by a stream, not far from you. This is disputed territory and they are not friends. It's not long before they are trading insults and vulgar gestures with your men. You recognize the glitter of chainmail on one of them. A chieftain? Let's challenge him. Yeah, a large warrior takes up the challenge. He tries to surprise you with a javelin, but his aim leaves much to be desired. How about this? Where's his chainmail? His neck. Kubi. Semi-professional Hispanian heavy infantry, widely employed as mercenaries, not only by Carthage. Bye-bye. Eh? Oi. He stares at you for a long moment before crashing to the ground. Another one. Another man comes forward, not as massive as the other one, but covered in chainmail. He must be their leader. Scutarius leader. Finally we have him. A leader of this group of Scutari, as his rich equipment clearly shows. Dun, 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 dun. Itai. Oi. Bien. Not enough. Mata. No more arms for you. Off with that arm. Shiori. Ooh, impressive. Nice. Compare. 916. And better on the armor, better handiness, better quality. Chainmail. Ooh, even better. Much, mecha. Yay. Spolia optima. This is worse. The Hispanians fall silent. They can't believe their chief is dead. You grab the rich spoils and lead your men away. Something is causing a stir through the camp. Actually, you are sure you've heard a cheer of jubilation, then you find out. Big news from Rome. Hasdrubal Barca's army, which crossed the Pyrenees last year after escaping you, was finally intercepted in Italia by 2 consular armies before he could join his brother Hannibal further to the south. His army was annihilated near the river Metaurus. Battle of the Metaurus, and Hasdrubal himself died fighting alongside his men. Hannibal is isolated now, and Rome has never been so safe since he crossed the Alps. Fun fact, Hasdrubal's head was thrown into Hannibal's camp. It's kind of a detail. Wait a minute. Wrong. When you embarked 3 years ago, all this seemed next to impossible. The rivalry goes on for a long time. Battle of the Metaurus. Receive my pay. Gaius Antonius fell in a skirmish right after killing an enemy leader. A well-crafted sturdy helmet found among the spoils remained unclaimed. It is decided that the precious headgear will go to the winner of a foot race, and only Indomitable can join. Join. You step up to the starting line along with many other participants. You'll have to run a total of 3 laps around the track. An impressive lap, you're gaining ground. Sprint. An impressive lap, you're gaining ground. No one can reach you now. You raise your hands as you approach the finish line. You've won the race. Everyone congratulates you as you receive the coveted prize. Everyone's opinion goes up. Yay! There. Okay, and off to forage we go. Your scouts report there's something wrong with this hamlet. They've been observing it for a while, and there's not a soul to be seen. Let's go in. Another party of Gallic mercenaries. Go for their leader. Try to learn where he'll be at a disadvantage. Heh. Knock. Bien. This is how you knock. Leg, así. Leave something for the unfortunate. F. Let's collect here. No, only the hamlets. You don't really have much. You have not found any minis? Look harder. You said the work a frail-looking old man approaches you. He's crying and pleading, although you can't understand most of his foreign words he speaks. Be compassionate. We still have one more hamlet, so... No problem. Okay, up. You've completed your mission. Intellect has increased. Hey, watashi wa tensai desu. Trosko Corinthian? Yada. Yada. $1,000 denarii. Let's move on. As Ribal Gisco and Mago Barca, Hannibal's youngest brother, are leading the remaining armies of Carthage in this theater. They have joined forces set on dealing with you once and for all. Scipio himself leads whatever forces he has at his disposal to face them. The legions and the Italic ally, of course, but also a large number of native allies. You don't like the rumors you've been hearing. It seems the enemy outnumbers you by a fair margin. When you come in sight of the Punic camp near the town of Ilipa, you can see for yourself the reports were not overblown. Your army is busy building its camp across the broad plain that separates you from the Carthaginians. A large cavalry host comes forward from the other side, trying to take you by surprise. To their dismay, they find out that Scipio hid his own cavalry behind a hill. The sudden counterattack stalls the assailants for a while. But the fight is in the balance. Soon your maniple is sent out to back your horsemen up. Your cavalry has been slowly taking ground thanks to your support. As yet another charge brings chaos to both sides, you see an Numidian cavalryman break through and approach you from the rear. These horsemen are considered among the best in the world. They were key to many of Hannibal's victories in the early years of the war, and all your compatriots who have met them on the battlefield have learned to respect them. Face him yourself. A roar rises from your men as their Optio, steps forward to face the Numidian alone. You don't think the centurion will be as enthusiastic when he learns about this? For all his skill, he's still a light cavalryman. He can't charge headlong at you. You stand fast and leave no opening. Then attempt a counter-strike with your improvised spear. He is good. He averts your attack with his shield and rides past, controlling his horse with just his legs. He acknowledges your boldness with a motion of his head and pulls away. You stare at him for a moment, then run back to the safety of your maniple. The skirmish goes on for a long time, but in the end, the Carthaginians have to give up and ride back to their camp. Nothing else relevant happens for the rest of the day. I wanted to win that. The day has come. The voices of officers giving orders and the sound of marching feet fill the air as your column leaves the camp. All your efforts over the last 4 years are at stake today. Your maniple takes its position on the battlefield. If you fail here, this vast plain is the last place you will ever see. The legions of Rome and the Italic ally are in the center. Your local allies light troops on the wings. When the dust settles, you see the distant enemies. Hasdrubal Gisco adopted a similar approach. With his heavy infantry in front of you, his elephants stand like towers in front of his Hispanian allies on the wings. You wait in silence. You have to trust your fellow soldiers. If at any point they panic and break formation, then all is lost, no matter what you do. You try not to dwell on it. The wait seems to go on forever. Minutes pass, then hours. Neither general gives the signal to advance. As the sunset approaches, you see a motion ripple through the enemy front. They are not advancing though. They are going back to their camp. Soon after, the same order is given to you. You march back with a mix of relief and frustration. The following day, the scene repeats itself, and the day after that, and so on. For several days, the Carthaginians are always deployed first. Their heavy infantry in the center, and you follow soon after, mirroring their arrangement. This endless back and forth is eating your nerves. Then one morning, you're all awakened sooner than usual. The order is to have breakfast and prepare to march out. Something is off with the position of your legion in the outgoing column. You'll end up on a wing rather than in the center. Your cavalry and skirmisher are harassing the Punic camp, forcing Hasdrubal Gisco to respond and deploy in a hurry. Both armies are fully positioned. The dust has not settled yet, but you're now quite sure you're facing the enemy light infantry, now rather than their elite heavy troops. This time there will be no turning back. Scipio himself takes command of your wing. You wheel to the right, then turn left. Your three lines have become columns. You have little trouble directing your men as they flawlessly execute a complex maneuver. As a column, you can advance much faster than usual. You see that the other wing on the left, also made of heavy footmen, is doing the same. The line formed by your Hispanian allies in the center is moving forward at a slower pace. You are now close enough to the Carthaginian left wing. You wheel to the right once more, then turn and face them in your usual formation. You have been too fast for them to react properly. Their elephants are being driven away by your skirmishers. Most of the beasts are fleeing towards the center, but one of them has lost its rider and is rushing in your direction. Let's try. You rush forward alone. When you are close enough, you fling a javelin at the dreadful beast. And it works. And hits. Even though you fail to wound it. You are very lucky. The beast bellows and changes direction, moving away from you and your troops. You are way more shaken than you are willing to admit. At last, you are ordered to advance. Facing an elephant. You take aim at one of the enemy soldiers and hurl. Your aim is amazing. Your missile strikes through, killing your unfortunate victim on the spot. You steel yourself. Terug. Hispanian light footman, his prominent expertise with the falcata makes him very dangerous in combat. Eh? Itai! Oi! Oi! Itai! You saw! Oi! なんだよ。ええくそおい。Yes. As soon as the situation allows for it, the Centurion takes his place and you move to the rear, where you can keep the troops in check. You should get some leg protection. Ping, ping, ping. I shall dine on your blood. That's another one. Give me your head. Ah! Ah, miss. Ow, ite. Despite your efforts, the enemy keeps holding. You have weakened them enough, pinned down by your Hispanian allies in the center. The African infantry can't come to the aid of these Caetri. There's no reason to expose yourself more than necessary, so you are ordered to step back and let the Principes take over. Principes. Very soon, the wings of the Punic front start to collapse, forcing the unprotected center to follow. Hasdrubal Gisco managed to rally what he can of his fleeing army and forms a new defensive line on the hill close to his camp. He has lost too many troops, however, and their morale must be shaky at best. Your army is waiting at the bottom of the hill when the signal to attack comes through. You fairly outnumber the Punics now. This won't take long. You supervise the maniple from behind, but there's not much to do here. The disheartened Carthaginians give way after a brief clash, but your chase is nipped in the bud when a sudden downpour overwhelms the battlefield. There's no choice but to go back to the camp. Some of the soldiers are wondering out loud why the gods are protecting the Punics. You're shepherding the men on the way back. The visibility is very poor, to put it mildly, and the mud is not helping. For a moment it seems a couple of your legionaries are going astray. You abruptly grab the two soldiers and drag them back to the slowly moving maniple. At first they are about to complain, but they are careful to keep their mouths shut as soon as they recognize you. You make it back at last. You'll need all the rest you can get. Most of their local allies deserted the Carthaginians soon after the battle. Hasdrubal Gisco and the remainder of his army fled during the night. Scipio leads you in pursuit. They are close to the sea when you finally entrap them. What follows is nothing more than butchery. Your maniple isn't even involved as the outnumbered Punics are slaughtered. A few thousand evade the bloodbath. They entrench themselves on the top of the nearby hills. You lay siege to them and wait. They won't last long without water. When they surrender, there's no trace of Hasdrubal and Mago. They made their escape, but it matters little. It is over. Carthage presence in Hispania is all but obliterated. Centurio posterior. A few months later, the last fortress of Gades surrenders without a fight. When you arrived 4 years ago, 3 large armies were keeping Hispania under Carthage's thumb. Now this army is firmly in the hands of Rome. You embark once again, this time heading home. After such a long time in the army, you can't wait to see your family. And yet, your new life back home is not as you anticipated. Maybe it's your people who are different, or maybe it's just you. What you saw, what you got used to. You can't shake the feeling that something is amiss now. Scipio is back too. Many Roman citizens regard the young general as a hero after the astounding victory in Hispania, and he is elected consul. After a long debate, Scipio is allowed to carry out his plan to invade Africa, the vast land beyond the sea to the south, dominated by the city of Carthage itself. Ciao, nomimasho. He is given command of the legions in Sicilia. They are composed of the survivors of Cannae, confined to the island until the end of the war as punishment, doomed to a long-lasting exile by someone else's ruinous blunder. The new consul is forbidden to levy any more legionaries, but volunteers are permitted. Matteo. Matteo. Okay. Let's go again. Enlist. You travel to Sicilia by sea with Scipio himself and thousands of other volunteers. From there, the consul intends to launch the invasion of Africa that will hopefully end this war once and for all. You join the 2 existing legions and begin the long months of training and preparation leading up to the new and final departure. However small, your reputation with the consul carries significant weight with your senior officers. In recognition of your efforts and achievements, you have been promoted yet again to Centurio Prior. Tribunes, consul. During today's sparring session, Lucius Junius is willing to bet 5 denarii against anyone who is inclined to challenge him. He's a standard bearer and an exceptional swordsman. 2 soldiers step forward, and after a measuring look, Junius decides to fight them both at the same time. The ease which he defeats them is unsettling. As the beaten challengers step out, massaging their aching limbs, Junius asks if there's anyone else who wants to give it a try. Yeah, let's go. Junius remarks that he won't hold back just because you outrank him. You were expecting nothing less. You face each other, wooden pack the swords at the ready, go on the offensive. You throw him off balance with a swift sequence of feints. How he's struggling. You find an opening and lunge at him, hitting him on the chest. He ignores the pain and nods, as if acknowledging your prowess. The onlookers seem quite impressed. Your independent thinking and decisiveness make you stand out during drills. Or javelin. You're in charge of both the right hand century and the whole maniple. You have to appoint a new Tesserarius. There are 3 options. Lucius Didius is both capable and reliable, probably the most suitable man for the position. Aulus Coponius is the most liked by the troops. It would be a popular choice, but a good Tesserarius has little to do with popularity. Quintus Sempronius has loose family ties with one of the tribunes. Let's choose Didius. Not the most popular, but the best choice. This young man would make an excellent centurion someday, if he managed to stay alive long enough. We have penalty. Quilted linen cuirass. Not really. Not any better than what I already have. Let's move on. Scipius Urias' consul is over, but he's given proconsular authority to carry out his plans. It's a special station in the Roman world. All is ready. A large fleet carrying the whole army sails away from Lilybaum. They say the journey is to the north coast of Africa. Won't take that long. A thick fog enfolds the fleet in the afternoon. There are many glum faces among your comrades. You're not going to the lion's den after all. You're going into the lion's den after all. Cheer them up. You do your best to keep up morale. You managed to take their minds off what's waiting for you on the other side of the sea. At least for a little while. At dawn, the fog is no longer there. Later, you finally catch sight of the African coast. You land not far from the city of Utica. After spending a few days strengthening your position, you're ready to take action. Your first raids through the surrounding countryside meet little to no resistance. Eventually, the detachment your maniple is part of comes across a modest town. Your next target. It is surrounded by a tall fence, although calling it a wall would be an overstatement. Lead the assault. You're among the first to climb the fence. 5 years ago, you took part in the successful storming of New Carthage. This is nothing by comparison. That's what you keep telling yourself. Before you reach the top, 2 militiamen try to stop you. It was nothing. The ease and speed with which you've dispatched the militiamen is impressive. The defenders are giving way in several places along the fence. Very soon there's no resistance left. The town is yours to sack. Troops are busy looting all around you. You see a couple of suitable places to start. Enter the house to your right. There's nobody inside. It looks like someone left in a hurry. What can be taken is carried outside. Then you open a trapdoor in the floor and descend into a poorly lit cellar. Some light is filtering through a slit near the top of the wall. 2 other soldiers are with you. You can hear an almost unnoticeable noise from behind a couple of empty barrels. Saying nothing, you get closer. You see 2 kids hiding there. Before you can react, a loud sound from the other side of the cellar makes you turn around. A woman comes out from her hiding place. She's surrendering to you. You meet her gaze. She knows you've discovered her children behind the barrels. Her eyes are begging you not to reveal what you found. Grant her wish. You're deeply affected by this woman's sacrifice. When she understands that her children are safe, she quietly lets the other soldiers take her upstairs. Bien. かわいそうに。Even though she must know she's going to be sold into slavery like the rest of the prisoners. Bien. You make sure to leave some food where they can see it, enough for them to survive until they find refuge. You leave the now ghost town behind and bring the prisoners and valuables to your camp. 2 days have passed. Poor woman. Your group is ambushed on its way to another raid. The Chubican plays his trumpet to call for help. You have to hold on until the nearby cavalry comes to the rescue. A volley of spears rains down on your right flank. Your prompt reaction keeps you safe. You must repel them. Go straight for the leader. Before you can reach him, 2 of his men are in your way. Not ideally prepared for shock combat, this highly trained professional is more than capable of holding his own in a one-on-one fight. Yeah. Theory. It was nothing. There is no chance to rest. Do you still want to go after the leader? Yes. He coldly stares at you as you approach. Light infantry leader. One of the best fighters you have faced until now. His sword looks like the work of a gifted bladesmith. Yes, Shirley. I won. Compare. Actually, mine is still better. Those penalties aren't for show and it has better coverage. 916, 916. I want better gear. As soon as you kill their leader, your comrades force the enemy skirmishers to fall back. You've gained some respite, but it's not over yet. A large unit of heavy spearmen are closing in on you. Your Chubican keeps calling the cavalry. By the gods, where are they? After you kill the skirmishers' leader, your unit has time to reposition itself on more favorable ground. Once again, you get ready to repel the assault. A professional heavy footman from Africa? They're the backbone of Punic infantry and they deserve their high reputation. Thracian helmet. One. Come on. Ying. Ying. Come on. Yes. There's a lull in the fighting. You might take this chance to fall back and recover. As a centurion, you are expected to lead your soldiers in a battle for as long as possible. Do you want to fall back? No! Fight until the end. Come on. Pim, pim, pim. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. No. Seriously wounded? Once again, you lead your soldiers as you go on the offensive. Neck. Arm. Despite your efforts, the enemy formation is tenaciously holding its ground. Even above the noise of battle, you can hear hoofbeats approaching. Your cavalry is finally coming. The skirmishers disperse immediately and pay the heavier toll, while the spearmen disengage and carry out an orderly retreat to safety. You are too tired to conduct a pursuit. It seems your rescuers were in turn delayed by another ambush. You get moving again, but the rest of the day is essentially uneventful. The first few days of raiding went smoothly. Your position is solid and you've gathered a fair amount of slaves and loot. Spirits are high now, but no one forgets that you are outnumbered here. So close to Carthage, the real campaign is about to begin. Your brave actions against the leader of the enemy light infantry is rewarded. Gold Armilla. The arrival of a precious ally has brought great enthusiasm. Masanissa is a Numidian tribal leader engaged in a war of succession with Sifax, the current king of his people. In exchange for Rome's support, he swore to help you against Carthage. You remember he fought against you in Hispania. Apparently, such trivialities are easily set aside when larger concerns are at stake. Basically, you help me, I become king. And if I become king, I will help you. A superb horseman will be an invaluable asset. Your soldiers see as a reliable this. Yes. Your scouts report Libyan spearmen ahead of you. Their party is about as large as your small patrol. You know these African soldiers are reliable professionals. Among the most disciplined troops the Carthaginians have, there's no denying that a confrontation with them would be dangerous. Challenge their leader. You approach the spearmen in the open. When you are close enough, you come forward and make the challenge. The Libyan officer is quick to accept. He drives his spear into the ground and unsheaths his sword. He looks amused, and so do his men. You're not entirely sure this was a good idea. No, I'm very sure this is a good idea. Look! Knock him. Come on. Of course, the more chance you have. Theory. Bye bye. Thracian helmet, even worse. Better coverage, but the penalty. Reinforced linen cuirass. It does better anti-armor resistance, but worse general resistance. Your troops shout a victory as you strike the deadly blow. The Carthaginians withdraw in silence, but tidily. But if your life has spun, you have to leave your marching column to answer a call of nature. You're about to pass through some shrubs that align when you notice a small number of red stones casually arranged on the ground. A marker of some sorts? When you get past the vegetation, you look at a small hollow trunk. There is no way to look inside. Reach down, what's there to fear? You grab something, an envelope. It's full of coins, not your currency, of course, but roughly equivalent of 100 denarii. This is not part of a large loot. You can hang on to it with no consequences. Still smiling to yourself, you join your group after a little while. Extra pay, ha ha ha. Your independent thinking and decisiveness make you stand out. Foraging. Yay. We've got to spend our time wisely. Nothing here. Nothing special. Marinai. That's boring. The bonus increase is nice though. You've been besieging Utica for some time, but the city is holding out proudly against your vice grip. Meanwhile, your spies reported a relief army left Carthage to the southeast. It is led by an old acquaintance of yours, Hasdrubal Gisco, the general you defeated near Ilipa 2 years ago. He's not alone. King Sifax of Numidia joined him with reinforcements. Their combined armies form an imposing force, even larger than yours. Skip your commands to abandon the siege. You retreat to a fortified camp on an easy-to-defend promontory. They wouldn't dare to attack when you have the high ground. Que ça. Negotiations are taking place between Scipio and the enemy leaders. Some believe that Proconsul is trying to buy time. Few would admit it, but the combined armies of Hasdrubal and Sifax could be more than you can handle. An uneasy truce descends while both forces are encamped in the vicinity of Utica. A couple of days later, a delegation is preparing to leave for Sifax's camp. You and several other centurions have been selected for an unusual mission. You'll disguise as servants and go with the envoys, trying to observe and learn as much as possible of the enemy's weaknesses. The journey to King Sifax's camp is short and uneventful. As the talks go on, you set to your vital task. Take risks. You manage to see much of the camp without ever raising suspicion. You even make a few friends among the Numidians. No matter how little you can communicate, you learn a great deal about the disposition of the camp and its vulnerabilities, the exits, how guard duty is arranged, how long it would take to reach Hasdrubal's camp. Several days pass as embassies keep visiting the Numidian camp. The negotiations never amount to anything concrete. Scipio summons a council of war. After sunset, his tribunes lead you out of Castra Cornelia, your large fortified encampment. The night is well underway when you are in the vicinity of the enemy positions. Part of the whole force is assigned to Laelius, Scipio's second in command. He and Massinissa will lead the attack on the Numidian camp, setting fire to the easily flammable huts. You'll partake in the assault on the other camp, where the Carthaginians are based. You don't have to wait long before the first fires appear and quickly spread through the large compound of Sifax. Even from here, you can perceive the disaster befalling your enemies. Many Carthaginians leave their camp and hurry towards their allies' position, probably not realizing what is really happening. You intercept them. They are unarmed and disarrayed. The butchery begins. This is no different than what Hannibal did to your compatriots at Lake Trasimene. Part of your mind keeps saying that. Why do you feel so sick then? The first wave is soon obliterated. Now the gates are left unattended, and you break into the camp. Before you can set fire to the nearby cabins, a bunch of spearmen tries to bring you to a halt. You fall upon them like hungry wolves. Carthaginian levy soldier. A Carthaginian citizen drafted as a consequence of your invasion. Kawaii-soni. Siri, the second one. They have no chance. Survivors disperse. You set fire to the buildings close at hand, then pull out and wait for the inevitable. The flames are devouring the enemy base in front of you. A large crowd attempts to leave through the gates at once. Many are crushed by their own companions. Of those who get through, some are taken prisoner, and countless others are put to the sword. You intercept a small clutch of people trying to sneak away in the shadows. There are 5 men. Their faces and clothes are covered in soot and blood. They are scared and unwilling to fight. Their leader is a man in his 40s. Even under the dirt, you can see his clothes do not belong to a common person. His manners are typical of a man used to commanding obedience. You have a hunch he is someone important. Take them alive. On your orders, your troops mobilize the Carthaginians and carry them where they can be kept in check. You are going to tell your senior officer about this prisoner at the first opportunity. The slaughter goes on for many hours. At dawn, you will contemplate the full extent of the catastrophe you have inflicted upon your enemies. The huge combined force that threatened to take you down is no more. Their losses number in the tens of thousands. Hazard balance effects are not among the prisoners. At first they are believed to have died in the fires, but soon you are hearing persistent rumors claiming that they are both still alive. Many spoils are salvaged from the ruins of the camp. As always, everyone gets his share. The important-looking man you captured turns out to be a senator of Carthage. Your leaders are very pleased with such a high-profile hostage. You have dealt a severe blow to Carthage. The end of the war is getting near. You are awarded a decoration for your astounding intelligence work in a Numidian camp. Already? This Carthaginian you could duel in one of these villages at this point. Hope I don't miss him. Ah, there's a lot here. Here he is. If you speak of the devil, there's a large villa here, surrounded by farms. A small party greets you. It is led by a man in his middle years. He's wearing a nicely crafted short chainmail. You can tell at a glance that he is the master of this place. He addresses you in a mix of Latin and Punic. The nobleman, whose name is Himilco, challenges you to a duel. If he wins, your men will leave this place empty-handed. Not that it makes that much of a difference to you once you are dead. He may no longer be in his prime, but he is very confident in his skills. You can rest assured this would be a very hard fight. Face him in single combat. He smiles. As you get ready, he notices you staring at his chainmail. He pats on it and explains that it is a trophy from his father took from a Roman he killed at the Gradus River more than 50 years ago. That's where the Spartan mercenary general Xantippus defeated Atilius Regulus and thwarted the first Roman attempt to invade Africa. Yes, that was also quite an episode. You set aside the history lesson and focus on the fight at hand. In the neck. Insta-kill. It's insta-kill. That took long. Oh. Ooh. いいね、いいね。Yeah. Yeah. Much better protection. Himmelko is dead. His mansion is yours to pillage. It took less... How long did that take? You have enough supplies. I have a good sword now. Hey. Ambush. You have walked straight into an ambush. Stones are racing down. Only your training and quick reflexes keep you safe. Yeah, as fast as it began, it ended. There's always a considerable number of merchants mingled with a crowd of camp followers. One of them invites you to take a look at his wares. Why not? Among loads of worthless articles, you discover a wonderfully crafted brooch. Unaware of its real value, he is selling it for just 8 denarii. At the very least, it's worth 12 times as much. Keep it. This brooch will make a delightful gift to bring back home. Your independent thinking? Yes, yes. Ah. Bakemono. 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 Ba 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 de de de. $2,000 denarii. I am wealthy. Asdrubal has managed to convince Sifax not to give up on the war effort. With a display of enviable tenacity, he has also raised another levy of soldiers, but more interestingly, they were joined by 4,000 battle-seasoned Celtiberian mercenaries. Once again, Scipio leads you away from the city of Utica, leaving enough forces behind to maintain the ongoing siege. You come in sight of the enemy within days. You may camp on a hill a few miles from theirs, say for the Celtiberian Scutari. You are not worried about what is to come. Nobody doubts that at the end of the upcoming battle, Carthage will be one step closer to capitulation. You can volunteer to scout your surrounding area if you wish. Yes. You leave camp with Publius Arius, your introspective mate. Doesn't talk much. You meet nothing noteworthy apart from the occasional bit of local fauna. You are emerging from a patch of undergrowth when you see a Carthaginian soldier across a shallow brook right in the front of you. He looks very young and nervous. He winces the moment he sees you and takes a couple of steps back. 2 more are about 30 steps behind him. They must be part of Hasdrubal's most recent levy. Scare him off. It is enough to break his nerve. He drops his round shield and runs away. His 2 fellows imitate him almost immediately. Arius grins and gives you a pat on the back. You return to your camp and report what you saw. It is time to get some rest. The next day, a large skirmish flares up when Scipio leads the cavalry to harry the Punics and their allies. At first, you are holding the ground in support of the more mobile forces, but chaos ensues as the enemy launches a counter-strike. Light infantry is harassing your left flank, pinning you down. Ahead to your right, you notice a group of retreating velites. They are in serious trouble. One of them lies on the ground, a grievous leg wound preventing him from fleeing. Two of his companions are desperately trying to hold off 5 Numidian foot soldiers. Velites are skirmishers, poorly equipped for hand-to-hand combat. They are about to succumb. Run over. You cover the short distance as fast as you can. The Numidians shift their attention to you. This Numidian seems unnervingly comfortable in close combat. He must be a veteran of many battles. Ite. Ah! Oi. That's 2. Peeing. Come on. And good hit. And it's another one down. Oh, yo. Insta-kill. Almost. Judging by the rage which they fought, they must have been survivors of the fires near Utka. You can be sure they weren't green recruits. 2 of the velites are dead. The one with the leg wound is the sole survivor. Kawaisoni. He looks at his dead companions, shocked partly because of their demise and partially because what you did. He turns to you and whispers something that is lost in the noise of battle. There's no more time to waste. You carry him to on your shoulders and hurry back to the relative safety of your maniple. You make it just in time before you're run over by Carthaginian horsemen. The fellow whose name is Ovidius thanks you profusely for saving his life. The deed you performed today is prodigious. Your cavalry rested the balance of the skirmish. When the fighting dies out, you retreat from the vast plain and up your hill as your adversaries do the same. The next 2 days are spent on erratic skirmishes. On the first day, you watch the scanty fights from the hill. On the second, your maniple is called to move down once again. Opposite you is there's a unit of Celtiberian mercenaries. They haven't seen much action until now, but even in the few clashes they have been involved in, they prove to be high-quality troops, even better than average professionals. That Hasdrubal Gisco managed to secure their help, even in Roman-controlled Hispania, is a testament to his brilliant organizational skills. You're facing each other in silence. In the distance, you see their chieftain, an intimidating-looking warrior in his chainmail armor. Centurion, challenge the chieftain to a single combat. You step forward and issue your challenge. He accepts with a howl of defiance. As he sprints forward, his spear flies at an alarming speed, but you skillfully deflect it. Here's mine. Twice. Mother! Ooh. Oh, no, wait. Better damage, better average damage, but lower handiness and anti-armor. A roar goes up from the ranks of your maniple. You have defeated an impressive foe today. Nothing relevant happens until the Tubican sounds retreat. Once more, the two sides return to their camps. That wasn't really much of a duel. Okay. It is the 5th day since your arrival. This time both armies are fully deployed. You stand in the center along with the bulk of the heavy infantry. The Hastati form a line in front of you. Laelius commands the Itala cavalry on your right. He faces Sifax Numidians. Their cavalry has been greatly reduced after their surprise attack near Utica. Their infantry is mostly composed of hastily recruited peasants. Your left wing is under Massinisa's control. His own Numidian cavalry is facing Hasdrubal's right wing, composed of Carthaginian horsemen. Having seen Massinisa's men in action, you don't envy the Punics. Your Hastati engage the enemy center. You can't see what is happening, but eventually they retreat and your line replaces them on the front. You can't be sure, but in the distance it seems your cavalry is pushing back the opposite wings. With luck, this battle won't last much longer. In a way, the Celtiberian mercenaries in front of you, in front of your maniple, require your full attention. When the other side is at the right distance, you prepare to hurl your first javelin. Your target skillfully deflects the missile, but at least you've caused some minor disruption to the enemy formation. As the other side gets closer and closer, you steel yourself for the incoming fight. Veteran Scutarius. This Scutarius is part of 4,000 crack mercenaries who arrived from Hispania. Shield broken, yay! Insta-kill. Bye-bye. mistaken. It's only 3,998... 98 troops left. Bien. But he's heavily wounded. That counts as a win for me. No. 900. Sometimes confused with Dutch and English numbers. How to pronounce them. Also different order. It's another one down. Better gear. No. Keep fighting. Does that fail? Thank you, God, for that armor. Come on. So much chance and he still manages to miss. Despite your efforts, and he's quite tenacious. This Qatari are resisting, one might say almost heroically. Everyone else in their army gave way, with nowhere to flee in this foreign land. No chance to obtain pardon from Scipio. They fight to the last man, as they are surrounded and exterminated. Their sacrifice gives part of the enemy army the opportunity to escape. Sifak has fled and is heading to his kingdom with the remnants of his army. Hasdrubal is going back to Carthage. The Aelius and Massinissa are sent after the Numidian king. They take a large cavalry force and many light troops. Your legion stays with Scipio. Carthage no longer has an army that can face you in pitched battle. Actually, there is one right now, but it's camped in Italia. It has been there for the last 15 years. That of Hannibal. Yes, I'm a good man. This part of the country is at the mercy of Rome's legions. Several cities surrender without a fight. Not every city, though. The one in front of you stands defiantly against your besieging army. Today you'll storm the city walls. Wherever you look, men are at work building ladders. Getting the right length can be a difficult task. Your rank carries weight, they listen to you. The ladders are ready, only the field test will tell if your evaluation was right or direly wrong. You advance towards the city, the assault begins. The defenders do what they can to thwart your actions, as the ladders are propped up against the walls. You did an outstanding job, the length is perfect, the assault will be easier. The first man over the wall will receive a mural crown, one of the most highly regarded awards in the army. As the senior centurion in a manipul, you should count on the help of your men. Your men are doing their best to help you. They could make the difference. Climb at breakneck speed. You trip up, missiles rain down on you. How did I miss? That's one less. Man, like many of his comrades, this militia man seems to have some combat of experience. Ah! Dang. Don't have to take, can't take too long. Come on. It's a surefire hit. Come on. And you really have to wonder how in God's green earth are you missing? Typical. Commend his skill. Finally. As soon as the last enemy is dispatched and the top of the wall is secure, you look around. No one else has made it to the top yet. You're the first. Yay! Patchy, patchy, patch. The last remaining resistance is broken. The city is yours to take. You're rewarded a mural crown, along with a munificent prize. The recent sack of the enemy camp and the capture of nearby cities provide a large amount of loot and spoils. It is shared among the troops as usual. You also hear about Saifik's capture. He was unhorsed while leading a desperate attack on Laelius and Massenius' army near Cirta, the capital of his kingdom. Carthage has lost its most valuable ally. Yes, yes, praise me. I'm a good centurio. A vast fire blazes in the night. People are running away from it. Punics, enemies, yes, enemies. They run towards you, unarmed, unaware of your presence. You wait, sword in hand. And suddenly they wear the faces of your companions. The ones who were with you in Hispania. And the ones who share your camp now. Even people you knew back in Rome. You wake up. Another nightmare. You wonder if they will ever end. But you know the answer. Your grandfather's younger brother was a centurion at the time of the First War. You remember his tales. These memories will keep living inside your mind for as long as you breathe. You turn on your side and try to get some more sleep before dawn. You can't. A slave bumps into you and falls. I apologize to you. Put him on his feet. Yes, not all of us are evil. Quickness. Three veterans legionaries are picking on a young Umbrian recruit. They have taken his helmet and won't give it back. Umbrians are saucy. While not full citizens, they sustained the Republic in its darkest hour. Besides, this young man is here as a volunteer. Make the veterans stop. There's a swift change of attitude as soon as they recognize your rank. They apologize and return the helmet. The Umbrian soldier thanks you. You're building quite a reputation as a trustworthy stand-up presence. Despair is pushing Carthage to super peace once more. An armistice is arranged, and for a time it seems the negotiations may succeed. It doesn't last. When a large number of Roman transports are scattered by storm along the coast near Carthage, and a Punic fleet is sent to capture them, the Roman envoys, asking for their return, are first set upon by an angry mob, then almost killed on their way back. At the same time, Hannibal and his army are recalled to Africa. After 15 years of rampaging in Italy, he is leaving Italia. This may be news for your fellow citizens great news for your fellow citizens in Rome, but you have mixed feelings about it. Rome's most fearsome and cunning enemy is coming after you. No matter how weakened and tired he may be, he is still the man whose name struck fear into the hearts of your people for so long. One consolation? The way the Punics think of Scipio is not much different by now. If anyone can stop Hannibal, it's him. Damage, endurance, life the best. Already have a super skill in everything. There are persistent rumors that Hasdrubal Gisco killed himself in Carthage before his own people could execute him. Apparently, the situation is getting more and more tense in the Punic capital. Yay, foraging. Great misnomer of Africa is that it is only savanna or desert. There is quite a lot of green in it on the north. The villagers are begging you to spare the settlement, but your orders to disseminate panic are clear. In a desperate move, they attempt to bribe you with a small valuables worth around 100 denarii. You are deeply moved by their plea. You are ordered to take a reasonable amount of supplies, but the village will be spared. I am good, Centurio. Best you are Bakimono Janai. Ambush. No, you get knocked. Ow. So managed to get away. Just a message log. Bakemo. Do we have here? You also have stuff that doesn't suck ass? Just a few days march from Carthage. You don't know Hannibal's exact location, only that he must be close. According to spy reports, he raised more troops after landing in Africa. But it's not them that you should worry about. His trusted veterans are with him, men who have survived in hostile territory for 15 years. Ligurian mercenaries enrolled by his youngest brother Mago, who succumbed at sea to his wounds, have also joined his army. Soldiers from Bruttium, former allies of Rome, who sided with the Punic general after Cannae, complete his foot force. You feel a weird sense of disquietude, as though the next few days could change forever the course of the world. But we're going to leave it at this. I'm going to end this stream at this. Thank you all for watching, now or in the future, and see you again next time. このストリームは終わりましょう。ではでは、おつフリー。またね。じゃあね。バイバイ。Viva Roma!